at 6 months. They sent her home to die. Well, I'm excited to say that lady lived for 33 more years.
Wow.
Her name was Doris DeVoe, and I spoke at her funeral last year. She didn't die from cancer. She died from old age.
Wow.
And when I had interviewed her, she said, tell the people in your book, I might have cancer, but cancer does not have me.
Yeah.
She said, and tell them one other thing. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, write it like I say it. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, tell the people in your book, the doctors can give you the diagnosis, but God gives you the prognosis.
Come on now.
All right? So, to encourage people that a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback.
Praise His holy name.
Amen.
You know, there's nothing like determination. Determination, even when things seem absolutely bleak. I want you to tell about that in your own life, but I want to tell you about a 93-year-old lady in Sacramento, California. She wasn't doing well. She was in the hospital, and her family came, and they're crying in the room, and the doctor came, pulled the family off to the side, talking about when to do heroic measures, you know, whether to keep on life support and whether to take her off. And the family left, and the doctor was still in the room, writing some charts, you know. And that old 93-year-old lady got his eye. Willie, she did like this with her one little bony finger. And he walked over, and as the doctor leaned over, she leaned up to him and said, don't listen to anything they say. You give me all you got.
Amen. Amen. That's right.
You know?
You got to be determined.
You've got to be determined. If you're going to live, you've got to have a determined spirit and a belief that God can really transform your life. Look at me. Yeah. I want you to tell about that, because a lot of people don't know. When here you are without a job.
Without a job. Broke, busted, and disgusted.
Without a job.
Yes.
And then what made you come to my home? What made you ask to
something? It was impressed. You know, when the Spirit speaks to you, I'm keen on one thing. When God speaks to me, I'm keen to listen. And when He says do and bless and be, I listen. And He gave me the encouragement to have courage. So you got to have courage to go to people who you might not know and ask for help. You know, and ask and seek and knock. Did He say that in the Bible somewhere?
Yes, He sure did.
He said ask and seek and knock. And so I asked, I sought you out, and I knocked on your door.
Yes, you did.
So,
yes, you did.
But God took me from a place. I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. I was trying to figure out what I was going to. I started speaking to school kids about staying away from drugs.
Okay, but what made you focus on speaking?
What made me focus on speaking was because it was something that came up. I really, you know what? I'll be honest with you. A setback is set up for a comeback. I was fired, and rather than give up on potential and possibilities, I decided I'm going to trust God on this one.
Okay.
I'd done it without God.
All right.
I'm going to go with God.
Okay.
All right. And once I did, He started just leading me through a path.
Okay.
And the first path was come see you. Second path was you just encouraged me. You didn't tell me how I was going to do it. You said encourage. You're going to do great things. The encouragement.
My God.
And I'm encouraging people today. I'm encouraging all of you out there that God's got something big and great and grand and incredible for you.
Right.
All right. You just got to trust it.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Tell them that again, man.
God's got something big and great and grand and incredible for you. And your best is just yet to come. All right? And don't worry about your age. Remember, Colonel Sanders was 65 when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. Clara Pella was 82 when she did her first TV commercial and said, where's the beef? And George Burns, he had the nerve to sign a 10-year contract with Caesar's Palace. He said he would have signed a 20-year contract, but he didn't think they'd be in business.
How old was he when he did that?
He was 99.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
You're going to have some setbacks, but God got bigger things inside of you. Well, He took me from fired to speak to young kids. From the kids, the teachers would say, can you come to my teachers association? I'd go there and someone there would say, can you come to my church?
Wow.
I'd go to the church and I'd speak to the church and someone would come up and say, I work for this company, that company. And it started to grow. And then Les Brown heard about me, the great motivational speaker, and invited me to be on tour with him and Gladys Knight. Then I got a little radio show. The little radio show caught on and got syndicated. And one day a book publisher heard me on the radio, called my office and said, have you ever thought about putting your ideas into a book? I said, no, I never thought about it. He said, let me make you an offer. I said, I just thought about it. First book came out, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. Became an international bestseller. Second book came out, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. It blew off the charts in 8 languages. It's doing incredibly well. Then third book came out, Chicken Soup for the Christian Soul.
Yes.
Then the fourth book came out.
Yes.
Turned setbacks into greenbacks.
Yes.
And all of this happened because I got fired. But I didn't give up my faith. Trust God in the tough times because he will bring you through. I have learned to trust him now implicitly.
Yeah.
Just to trust him. Where he says, I'll go.
Yeah.
What he say, I'll do.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I also am grateful that my pastor, John Jenkins, First Baptist Church of Glenarden in Maryland, always encourages me to keep doing my ministry.
Yeah.
You know, because many people say, well, you have a degree in theology, you should go down this path. But he always encourages me to find my place and to reach people in a unique way.
Well, I'm going to tell you, a man spoke a word very similar to that in my life one day. He said, never live your life by someone else's agenda.
That's exactly right.
Don't live your life by others, because people have agendas for you.
Yes.
Just as long as you're living your life by God's agenda.
Yes, that's right.
You're going to be just fine.
He would do incredible things.
I've listened to you, and I got to tell you, as I've been sitting here, one word has been welling up in my heart. I sure am glad that I didn't say to you that day, I'm too busy.
Amen. Amen. I am glad.
Where would I, you know, how could I live with myself?
Well, you know, we pour into people not knowing why. How. I wrote the book Setback and Set Up for a Comeback, and our words sometimes will go places we don't expect. I was doing a book signing one day, and a gentleman stood over in the corner. He was working there as a janitor. He came up at the end of my book signing and said, I need to talk to you. I come from Ethiopia. I did not know how to speak English. I go to bookstore, learn how to speak English. I get a book, a setback, is a set up for a comeback. I read the book. I accept Jesus. I accept Jesus. Because I talk about Jesus in my book. My publisher is a secular publisher, said, why are you going to talk about Jesus all through this book? And I said, well, it's a success book, but why are you going to talk about Jesus as a success book? How do you talk about success without talking about Jesus?
That's right.
I don't understand that.
That's right.
That's like trying to take the hot out of fire, the wet out of water. Can't be done.
Hot out of fire, wet out of water.
You can't take it out.
Willie, you are just so blessed. What do you say to that person before we leave?
Okay, I want to say to people right now, to the people who are struggling, that I've learned over the years that you're going to go through tough times, that you're going to have some challenges. In 2003, I lost my mother, my brother, and my father-in-law in 30 days. It was the most challenging time of my life. But it was through that a preacher came into my life. When I was struggling with grief, he called my office and he said, your folks, they got in. They got in. Don't discourage. They got in. And in that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, I give that testimony. And people's lives have been changed who are struggling with grief. Whatever you're going through, don't give up, because your best is yet to come. We put everything in the hands of God, and we trust God. Yes, indeed. That everything he says he will do. Yes. And he doesn't forget his friends. No, he doesn't. You didn't hear what I just said. No, indeed. God does not forget his friends. Will you sing for us? I'll be happy to sing. Now, you don't not only speak, but you sing. Well, this is a song that I recorded as part of my ministry and testimony, and we put it on our website just to encourage people. And I think why this song? This song was because when I was going through that tough time losing my mother and my brother and father-in-law, that he said, just don't have fear, trust me. And I trusted him, and I realized